The following video is a non-profit fan-made video. All the rights belong to Konami, TV Tokyo, and Nihon Ad Systems. I encourage you to follow me on my secondary channel, Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, where I'll be posting Yu-Gi-Oh! Q&As, Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcasts, Yu-Gi-Oh! Spoiler analysis, and more. Link is in the description. Hello everyone, it is Dylan from Clueless Gamers or Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 review. I will be reviewing episode 132. Before I begin, there has been a little bit of confusion on my Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything channel about when Arc 5 is taking a break. Next week will be episode 133. 133 is airing next week, and the first weekend of December 4th, I believe, is the actual date in Japan. Do time conversions wherever you live. Then they will be taking a break, so 134 will be coming in on December 11th. Just wanted to let you guys know that because there was some confusion among a few people that I've talked to. Next weekend there is an Arc 5 episode. The weekend after that, the first weekend in December, there is no Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 episode. But anyway, let's get on with the review. I really hope you guys enjoy.
で、どっちがいい？すぐにカードになりたいか、少しは僕と遊びたいと思っているのか。
楽しい方で頼む。
それじゃ、僕のやり方で楽しませてもらうよ。
So what did I think of the episode? I thought 132 was actually a really good episode. It was one of the episodes that I enjoyed the most in the last like 5 or 6 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. I just thought it was the duel at the end between Yuri and YUGIOH was great. I enjoyed the conclusion between Reiji and Rira, and I kind of enjoyed the conclusion between Yugo and Yuri. There are 2 tributes at the end. The first time ever that I'll be giving 2 tributes instead of just one in a video, so I hope you do stick around for the end as we can say our farewells to 2 Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 characters. The first of them being, obviously, Yugo. Yugo lost the duel at the end of 131, and in 132, he becomes one with Yuri. I thought this could have been done a little better, and the way I would have done it a little better was if Yugo was not in Berserk mode, and he kind of gave Yuri his consent to become one, and I understand that it is Zark. I understand he is Zark, but I would have liked to see him kind of hold back the temptations to say that and instead kind of do what Crow did and have a flashback of all the people that he failed to save or he failed to get through, have a flashback of Yuzu, but especially, even if he didn't bring up Yuzu, because he did get close with Yuzu during the Synchro arc, just have a real flashback of Rin or have a final, like, farewell moment, maybe even screaming Rin's name or something like that as he becomes one with Yuri. I think that would have been a lot more powerful. I think that would have affected me a lot more emotionally. Not to say that, because Yugo, and I know Yugo is a huge fan favorite. I know a lot of people love Yugo. And he's someone that I like, don't get me wrong. He's not someone that I loved. He's not my favorite U-boy, but it's still sad to see him go. I just think that scene could have been done a little better, to be honest. That's just my opinion. You guys let me know, though, what you thought. Still, Yugo is gone. He's absorbed, and this was very forceful. As you can see, the dragon actually came out and, like, growled at him and absorbed him, whereas Yuto and Yuya's was a lot more peaceful and willing and consentful. This was really just by force, so I kind of like that aspect where, maybe Yugo didn't want to do it, but it's Zark, and it had to be done from Zark's mindset, so it was done. It cuts back to Reiji and Reira's duel, and there were a lot of people who thought this duel was a foregone conclusion, that Reira was going to win. Here's the thing with Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. When you've watched Yu-Gi-Oh as much as I have, and as much as I'm sure a lot of people watching this review have, whenever they do something like this, where it looks like a character is about to win, and then they cut away from it, and then they come back to it, usually that character does not win, or if they win, it's not on that turn. Something else happens, that goes wrong. That's just a classic Yu-Gi-Oh thing. Another classic Yu-Gi-Oh thing is when a character starts thinking about how they're going to win the duel, and it's like, well, if I activate this trap, their monster's going to lose half its attack points, I can attack, and I'm going to win the duel. If that happens and that's all a mindset thing, those events are never going to play out the way those are 2 things where if they cut away from it right when a finishing blow is about to be dealt, or if a character plans on what's going to happen if they activate the trap and how they're going to win, it will never happen. It just never goes according to plan. And that's just something you learn from watching Yu-Gi-Oh! All these years. So we go to the Reira Reiji duel. And it looks like Reira is going to win. It did look like he was going to win. Sonic Halberd lands the attack. Reira cries a little bit. And then it shows Reiji on one of the platforms and he uses an action magic. And he says the same line that Reira said when Reira used an action magic. I'm part of the Lancers. This is how we fight. And I know a lot of people, or a good amount of people, a decent amount of people, have issues with action magic cards. But Reira used it and Reiji used it. They both used it. Fair game in my mind. I enjoyed that aspect. That didn't diminish the duel at all. If Reira can use it, Reiji absolutely can use it. And I'm not someone who has that much of an issue against action magics. But for the people that do, at least it was kind of a fair balance there. Reiji saves himself. He's able to summon Tome Conquistador, a level 10 monster with 3,000 attack points. I don't think we've ever seen this monster before. Is this Reiji's ace? I wouldn't say it is because we really don't know what Reiji's ace is unless it's, a DDD. I really don't know. I did a podcast with Legendary Duels way back. I actually think it might be on his channel where one of the topics is we discussed what Reiji's ace monster might be. Is this going to be it? Who really knows? I think he's going to end up going the whole show without an ace and just have a bunch of different strong kind of trump cards, but that's just my feeling on it. Tome Conquistador, he gets it up to 4,000 attack points. What I liked about this duel is he basically says, look, Reira, I know you want to revive Rei, I know you're feeling her feelings right now, but I'm stopping Leo Akaba no matter what, and if that means Rei doesn't get revived, so be it. You stand in my way, I'm going to defeat you and move on with my ambitions. Basically saying, like, alright, you can do this. You're your own person, I respect you, I underestimated you. But at this moment in time, you are a threat to what I want to do, and you almost are an enemy to me. And for that reason, you will be defeated, and Reiji defeats Reira, and that's that. So I really liked that line, and it was like, oh wow, Reiji really is into this. I mean, he's really taking this seriously, and I like that a lot, where you kind of see that Reiji is not going to be influenced by Rei's feelings at all. So I really like that whole concept. The duel itself was alright. I don't want to say I don't know what the purpose of it was, but I don't know. Reira fails to become the first character in Yu-Gi-Oh! History that's dueled 4 times without losing. Anzu, Taya Gardner from Duel Monsters, still the only character that's dueled at least 3 times without losing, except Yuri, with this win, joins Anzu in that category. So Yuri, if he defeats YUGIOH, will become the first character at this moment that is the only character in Yu-Gi-Oh! History to have dueled 4 times and never lost. Is that going to hold up? Who knows? He's got to defeat YUGIOH, and then he's most likely got to defeat Yuya, so that'll be tricky for Yuri. It's still probably going to be Anzu when it's all said and done, which still I just get a real kick out of. But that's the segue. We go now, as Reiji is walking towards Reira, to Yuri and breaking down the wall and smashing YUGIOH through the wall. And I'm watching Yuri just basically destroy YUGIOH and destroy Reiji with his power, and I'm like, damn, Yuri is God. I mean, just destroying these two, and I mean, this is Yu-Gi-Oh!, but it's almost like a fighting anime at this point, and these two have absolutely no chance against Yuri, so I'm just watching, I'm like, damn, I wonder how, the duel is going to end up happening, and YUGIOH basically says, it's really the father-son bit that gets Yuri, and Yuri's like, alright, I've never carded, literally he says, I've never carded a dad in front of his son before, this should be fun. And I'm like, damn, Yuri, you're a sick SOB, man, you really are. And so the duel begins between Yuri and YUGIOH. And I have to say, this was the highlight of the episode for me. I mean, it really was. This duel I thought was tremendous. Before this duel begins, we see Leo Akaba, Ruri, the other character, sends her farewells. The guys say the plan was to send Ruri at 70%, and Leo Akaba's like, we don't have time for that, do it now. And I wonder, is that maybe gonna hint at something bad, at something going wrong because they're kind of rushing the process, or is it just kind of the symbolism for this is dire situation, and the time is of the essence, we just need to get this done? I'm not sure. It could be either way, but just keep that in mind in case something does go wrong because they're rushing the transformation a little bit. So we get to the duel, and I like how YUGIOH is entertaining. I like that. Now, I know some people might say, oh, Egao's bad. But here's the thing. We haven't seen an Egao-ish duel in a long time. We haven't. And so for the people that are sick of smiles and everything, YUGIOH is an entertainment duel. So that's what he is. That's what this character is about. And you have to keep this in mind, too. He's been built up to be one of the best duelists in the entire show, in the entire universe. That's what YUGIOH's been built up to be. A duelist that is kind of better than his son, well, should be better than his son, and is even better than Reiji, someone that Reiji looks up to, and Reiji is made out to be one of the best duelists. So YUGIOH is really supposed to be able to hold his own, and he does that marvelously. Yuri starts his turn, places 2 face-down cards, and summons a monster with 1,300 attack points, and YUGIOH just mind blows him. I mean, really does. And what I like about this duel, and even though there was aspects of making people happy and smiling, Yuri was really aggravated. And I like that. It's not like the Tyler twins who immediately were converted, or Edo who was converted very quickly in the Xyz arc, which I think that's where the show and the concept went sour for a lot of people. Yuri is still angry and frustrated, and as he should be. He's not some person who, should be enjoying this and should be amazed by this. He gives credit where credit is due, and that's completely fair. YUGIOH is a great duelist, and he's showing respect for YUGIOH, and I don't think anyone should really have an issue with that. But he was still aggravated, especially when YUGIOH is talking about how he basically read Yuri's mind and Yuri's thoughts when he baited him to play his trap and figure out that his face down card was super polymerization. That's how the episode ends, by the way. YUGIOH just goes on this tirade completely. The music, by the way, music is amazing, set the tone beautifully. Completely blows Yuri's mind, completely blows up his entire plans. And I really enjoyed it. The one thing that got a little aggravating for me is how I thought they were showing YUGIOH a little too much, that YUGIOH was kind of starting to break through, and Reiji and Rira were... I don't mind the reaction shots, I don't mind that, but when they cut to Reiji and Rira, and Reiji's like, look, YUGIOH's starting to come back to life, or come back to, himself, I thought they overdid that a little much, but that's a minor gripe. It's a very minor gripe. I thought the duel was tremendous, and I have to say, of course, it's only been 2 turns, I have to say, if this is YUGIOH's only duel, which already the stakes are high, we know what the stakes are. Yuri has stated it. You are getting carded if I defeat you. Those are the stakes right there. And I don't see how YUGIOH wins this duel for plot purposes. You know what I mean? I don't see how YUGIOH can win and the plot gets kind of advanced. Because Zark has to come, right? So I'm starting to really be worried that in 2 or 3 episodes, YUGIOH is a goner. And so if this is his only duel, that would be disappointing, but at least make it a fantastic duel. And so far, no pun intended, but the stage is set. The stage is set for his duel. Another thing I liked is when he summoned Sky Magician, they made a bit of a big deal out of that. You have to remember, this is a monster that we've seen in the pre-opening to the very first opening, to Believe. This is a monster that is one of the more iconic monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, a monster that we saw in the flashback with Edo. So I'm glad that they hyped up this monster and they called it his ace, and Reiji was like shocked when he saw it in the flesh. That's almost what it looked like, because this is a monster that we as fans have seen for years, but we've never actually seen it in an episode. So I liked how they hyped that up. All in all, I thought the first part of this duel was handled really well. I hope this duel just lasts through 133, and I'd love to see it even trickle into 134. I really would. Again, we have a break December 4th. That makes me wonder, are they going to wrap it up in 133? They very well could, so that we're not waiting 2 weeks. But even if we wait 2 weeks, that's fine with me. I think this has the potential to really be an amazing duel. But you guys let me know. What did you think of this duel? What did you think of YUGIOH? What did you think of the conclusion of Reiji Rera? What did you think of Ruri just kind of being gone, as Yuzu was last week? I guess Rin in 133, Serena in 134. That's what it kind of looks like. But more importantly, what did you think about YUGO? What did you think about that death scene? You guys let me know. Again, it looks like Sora, Edo, and Kaido survived. There was no confirmation that they were carded. I think YUGIOH would have mentioned it when he brought up Asuka and his other students. So I think those 3 are alive and well and somewhat safe for now. But I guess that's left to be debated. So I'm going to show you the preview for 133. I'll get my thoughts on it. And then we will have a farewell send-off to YUGO and Ruri.
おじさんとデュエルしてよかった。ここまで僕を楽しませてくれた人は今までいなかったからね。そう、あのユーゴだって。このお礼はたっぷりさせてもらうよ。僕のやり方で。大丈夫、心配することないさ。俺の父さんならきっと。次回遊戯王アーク5輝かしきエンタメショー、お楽しみはこれからだ。
Definitely an interesting preview, a preview that gets me so hyped. Yuri just talking about how fun and entertainment of a duel it is, and then he just kind of, starts to get very brutal with YUGIOH. You can see YUGIOH getting shocked, probably losing some life points, and then it looks like Yuri, based on the end of this preview, is about to deliver a finishing blow. YUGIOH survives it. Yuri has this shocked look on his face, and everyone else does for that matter too. I'm very excited for this duel, guys. I really am. I'm excited for the next episode. You guys let me know what you think will happen in this duel. Do you think it'll last through 133? Who do you think is going to win? All that stuff down below. But anyway, guys, we have lost 2 more Yu-Gi-Oh characters. We're going to start with Ruri Kurosaki, Shun's younger sister. Ruri was pushing the plot even when she wasn't involved in the show since episode 1920 when Yuto first brought her up to Yuzu. A character that us as Yu-Gi-Oh fans were so excited to see for almost 100 episodes until we finally did see her in 119, only to lose to a below average duel against Shun, her older brother. Then she dueled against Yuya where she also lost. Ruri, even though you didn't have a single win and you deserved so much more screen time, as I think most of the Bracelet girls did, you will still be missed by the Yu-Gi-Oh community. And Yugo, fangirls are mourning around the world. Yugo was someone who I maybe never resonated with on a level that most people did, but I could see why he was such a lovable character. He was fun, he was different, he was caring, he was kind, but more importantly, he was loyal and would go to the end of the world for Rin. And I think that speaks a lot about just the kind of person that Yugo was. Ruri Kurosaki, Yugo, you will be missed. May you rest in peace.
YUGO じゃねえYUGOだ YUGO じゃねえYUGO だ YUGO じゃねえYUGO だ